Stu and Dave Do America presents Annoying College Student.
I'm a woman in Islamic State. I've lived in Egypt my entire life. I just moved here 2 years ago.
Yeah, well,
genuinely,
Egypt has...
my life there, infinitely better than my life here. Infinitely better. I've lived in Egypt my entire life. My life there, infinitely better than my life here. It's way more fun. I feel way safer. Way safer. I have never had to walk out at night and think, oh, I should have pepper spray on me. Never. Ever. There's no place where you would go in like Cairo, Alexandria, whatever, where you'd feel actually unsafe.
So go back there.
Forever.
I fixed your problem.
Yeah. This is what we do here. We solve problems.
Enjoy all the social advancements of Cairo.
Yeah. And make sure your hair is obviously not seen by any males.
Then, of course, you'll be killed with rocks.
Right.
But other than that, it's safer.
As long as there's not a gusty wind that comes through town, you're probably fine.
Yes, that's true.
There's never, and that area not all known for windstorms.
No, but if Allah accidentally knocks that off your head in a strong wind, well, you know the rules.
Good luck, everybody. It's the exact opposite of how I felt watching the people come here for the World Cup, where people were like, you know what? I thought this was terrible and it's going to be great. It's like the exact opposite. It's just get out of here. Get out. I really don't mind people coming here from other countries. I know at times that gets controversial with the immigration thing. You come here legally, I'm fine with it. But come here and appreciate the country, please. Don't come here on a student visa and say how much better it is in Cairo, because you know what? Plenty of room in Cairo. If you want to be stacked 5 on top of each other like most of the city is, go back there. You'll love it. It's a wonderful place to be.
I'm just tired of the insufferable whining at this point with people like that. Just go, okay, well, I didn't have to carry pepper spray. Were you allowed to? Were you allowed to have any weapons as a woman in, like, who knows?
You have Second Amendment rights there to defend yourself?
Yeah.
And are you going to get pepper sprayed? But by who? What danger is there here? I'm not saying that there aren't bad areas of our country. Of course there are. There are areas that are very crime-ridden, by the way. I would note, typically managed by the far left wing of the party, the people that I guarantee she agrees with.
Yes.
But generally speaking, man, this is not a bad place to be. I'm sorry. It's just, it's like it's the 250th birthday of our country. We should maybe just sit back a little bit and appreciate what we have. Be thankful for once.
Well, we can't, because social media and everything has ruined everyone.
Yes, everything and everyone,
Nothing
Dave.
is fun.
That's
I wish
true.
it was. I wish I could. I'll be more peppy.
You will.
Yeah, God bless America.
There we go.
And all the wonderful people that come here to complain constantly.
Yes. Oh, God, just go.
About how hard it is.
Please go away. Please just go away. It's you yourself have identified that this would be better for you. We agree. Go.
Yes, I agree. It'd be way better if you weren't here.
Thank you. We didn't even get a lot of things have been ruined by the internet. We didn't even get a fun Anthony Fauci hearing today. Well, some of it was fun. Some of it was fun.
The 111. I plead the fifth.
That's exactly where we're going. Let's do I plead the fifth. Oh, it would be so much better to be in Cairo. Welcome to Stu and Dave Do America. It's Stu Burguiere along with Dave Landau.
I plead the fifth.
Thank you.
Ahoy, we meet again.
Dave, you won't be in Cairo, I'm noticing. Maybe that's why she wants to be there so badly. But you will be all around this terrible country.
I will be. I will be in awful cities like Albuquerque, New Mexico. Well, that one was kind of real. August 7th and 8th. August 4th. I'm kidding. You guys are great. Except, a lot of it. August 14th and 15th, Glendale, Arizona. August 20th, Cleveland, Ohio at Hilarities. August 21, 22, Traverse City, Michigan. August 26th, Honolulu. September 25, 26, Salt Lake City, Utah. And also in September, I will be in Denver at the Improv. What about you, Sailor?
I will not be in any of those places. I will try to be here as much as possible. I will say, however, Dave, I don't know if we have this ready, but we are, I mentioned yesterday, we're on the Substack Rising list. PredictableShow.com. We went from number 6 yesterday all the way up to number 4 today.
Look at you.
Look at that. There's only 3 ahead of us now, Dave.
And this is in the business?
Yeah, in the business area, which is weird. I don't feel like I do a business show, but I don't care.
Apparently you do. Are you rich?
I'm the 4th freaking business show. Of course I'm rich. Massively wealthy.
You must be.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Oh my gosh. I got a brand new condo in Cairo.
Nice.
Which is a really good place
It's a
to
nice
live.
place to live. It's not as nice as Alexandria or whatever the hell she said.
Yeah. Whatever other city we've never heard of. Look, the truth is, when you're a foreign country, you get one city we know about. That's it. You just get, maybe the capital, maybe one place where there's a famous thing. We don't learn any more about your country. That's how this works.
France is Paris. You might as well just say Paris or France if you're speaking to me. It's all the same.
It's all the same. London. That's all you got.
Yeah,
just London. That's
people dress like hamburglers eating baguettes riding around on bikes.
That's true. They do that.
They do.
All throughout. That's the only thing that happens in Paris.
Unless you count the people that came in wearing what she had at the beginning of the episode who stabbed them. But other than that,
No, sometimes they light them on fire.
Oh, that's true.
Or run them over with their cars.
That's true.
So there's plenty of
If there's
variety.
a gay parade, they tend to drive into it.
But it's a wonderful place to be. Let's go to Fauci. We did a lot on this yesterday, and we could continue to do a lot more on it today, even though he didn't really say much. Trump blasts Fauci ahead of the Senate testimony. His ideas were crazy. I'll get to Trump's comments here.
I just want to say his ideas were so crazy that Trump listened to every single one of them and gave him a commendation in his last year in office. But yeah, I'm sorry. And I know so many of these fans are huge fans of Trump, and I get it. But look, let's be honest. Can we just call a spade a spade?
Can I go to you want me to go to his comments here? No, this is
kind of do because I was
going to push this a little bit later in the segment, but I think it's appropriate to do now.
It's just like an episode of Intervention where the dad's yelling at the kid, but then also giving him money for smack.
Yeah.
It doesn't count.
No.
You enabled Fauci.
It's really hard to disagree with this. And let me give you Trump's case here. I think there's as you mentioned, a lot of people who watch BlazeTV love Donald Trump.
They do.
He's done a lot of great things.
Can we just call balls and strikes? I invented that.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. That's a baseball term.
Yeah, but I'm using it in a different setting.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Genius.
Brilliant. This is what Trump said. Many more people died of COVID under the Biden administration than under the Trump administration. It's probably true. I don't remember.
I would assume that's true.
I would assume that's true. Trump had the worst parts of the pandemic in his last term, not because of him, not because of his fault, but it just started in March 2020, right?
Yeah.
So at least in a high rising capacity.
Well, and then bringing up the 4,500 cases of measles and going, well, that's vaccine hesitancy caused by Trump. It's like, no, it was caused by the guy sitting right there, Anthony Fauci.
Again, he did not help that problem at all, Fauci. But Trump, on that point, he says Operation Warp Speed was a spectacular success. In fact, many say one of the most successful things ever done by an American president.
Like bragging about shock and awe.
Now, there's a lot of disagreement as to whether that's an accurate statement.
It's not. Project Warp Speed didn't work.
Yeah,
unless you want to count the pulmonary artery problems and the people dropping dead at 17 catching footballs and the massive heart attacks people keep having in their 40s. Let's not think that warp speed was the best idea to put out a vaccine.
Yeah, it's funny. It's there's disagreement on that. I'm not as negative on the vaccine as you are. My friend Sarah is.
I think most vaccines are quite good.
Right.
I think this one is the issue.
There were lots of promises made about it that did not play out the way that the promises were made. And even if you don't take the most negative view on it in the world, there were lots of things that people like Fauci said, and people I think like Trump said. I don't know that Trump overpromised things like, oh, well, you'll never get COVID if you take the vaccine. I don't think Trump said that.
No, the only time he said ivermectin and the other thing that came up today, they then said he was a lunatic.
Right.
And that it was horse dewormer.
He did a lot of that sort of alternate care.
He did. He brought it up a lot.
He tried to do a lot of different things. Just as a person taking out, the vaccine for a second, just as a person looking at how the government normally operates and what they did here, it was an amazing example of, we really could just clear out this bureaucracy and do this stuff a lot. That we're constantly promised, oh gosh, we can't build that bridge within less than 15 years. Yeah, sure, we built the Empire State Building in like 3 years, but we can't do any of these things. when they want to do this stuff, they can do it. Now, in this case, a lot of people don't like the results of what they did here. But from a perspective of just clearing out bureaucracy, it was an amazing example. When pushed, this government can actually do things. Whether they succeed at them or not at the end of the day is another story.
Well, it's like Japan can put up a building in 10 minutes. You can go to bed and wake up and you're like, is that a high rise?
What happened to my ocean view? It sucks.
Yeah, it's possible.
It is possible. So that's I think one of the most, I don't want to harp on this too much, but one of the most fascinating political developments that I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've been doing politics and radio for a long time. The huge fans of Trump who wound up being sort of skeptical about this vaccine in one way or another, wound up still sticking with him and voting for him in the next election. And then he stuck with it. He never abandoned. Usually, a lot of times when there's something going on with the base, he'll be like, you know what, actually, and he'll kind of just go to the other side and be with his base. With this, he sticks with it, and it's like only the media.
That to dead people in Iran.
Yeah, it's true. Only the media. That's a fair point. Only the media praises him like this. When you talk about him, Operation Warp Speed being
quick. Iran. I don't want to be corrected a bunch by
God. Don't tell me where Bad Bunny lives. I don't want to hear anything about that.
You know how it goes. I didn't interrupt you, Stu.
No, it's okay. As a spectacular success, the media still praises him for this, and his base hates it. And I can't think of another issue that's quite like that. It's bizarre. It's just so strange the way he's stuck with that the entire time, and the people who love him and at times I think praise him for things he doesn't deserve praise for. Just kind of have that position and then still love the guy. It's really a fascinating.
No, and it's been that way since the beginning.
Yeah,
like people were not on board with it.
Yeah,
in his
base.
Yeah, and he still went along with the others, which I understand as a president, you don't know what's going on necessarily. You are listening to the guy who's supposed to be in charge of essentially the science.
Yeah,
calling himself the science, saying. But I mean, even when it was brought up today that he was posing for In Style magazine.
Oh my God.
Was it real?
So good. It's
like,
so
look
good.
at the guy.
Just to finish this up, I don't want to spend too much time. This is why I was putting Trump at the end, so we didn't spend too much time on it. But I'll do it anyway here. Fauci, he said. By the way, he said he overrode Fauci, so he's now presenting Fauci as the guy who was against the vaccine. Okay. He said his ideas were crazy. Also, I said from the beginning that the virus came from Wuhan laboratory in China. I would say that's true.
That's true.
Fauci strongly agreed. I would say that's true. Always trying to protect China. I don't know if that was his motivation, but maybe partially at least, because his research was going on there, and he was trying to shield that from public knowledge.
Yeah.
I inherited Fauci, who was there since the 80s. True. Back with each passing day, relied less and less on him. To your point, he got an accommodation award in the last days of the Trump administration. There was no reason for that to occur.
No, he should have
not have occurred.
Been arrested. Well, I mean, you can't because he was pardoned.
Yeah, well, yeah. Now he later was pardoned.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
He
should have been arrested then.
Yeah, he could have been then at least. He made too many bad calls, like on masks. True. He was an anti-masker at the beginning. True. Switched to super masker. True. Then he didn't. I didn't let him shut the country down, although he wanted to. I went the Federalist way and let the governors decide. I mean, that's largely true. There were times where he really heavily advised and leaned on people like Georgia to do more shutdowns than they were doing. That was a controversy at the time. Trump was telling Georgia, hey, you can't open up tattoo parlors, for example.
Right.
And they wanted to do it there, and he was telling them not to. Same thing with Florida. It's like, keep people off the beaches. Florida was like, no. There was a lot of
That's what I liked about Florida was that they did do that.
Yeah.
They went completely against what everything was being recommended. And Florida was fine and had the most old people.
Yeah, it really you would have imagined that to be much, much worse in Florida than it was.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
Well, it's because like in Michigan, where they were just bringing anybody who was sick and throwing them in old folks' homes to get a body count up and collect money, they weren't doing that in Florida.
Yeah, it's true. Again, I don't know how Murphy or Cuomo survived that without going to prison for what they've done. That was
or Whitmer.
Whitmer too. Yeah, Whitmer too.
Of course, she was getting fake kidnapped during the whole thing.
What a weird time to be alive. I will just say this on the whole thing from the beginning. It's okay if you want to say, one, trust the science. We're always right. But then you got to be right if you're going to do that. The other way to go is to say, hey, we're a little unsure here. This is a new disease. This is a thing that's coming here, and we don't know what it is exactly. We don't know how it's going to affect each other. We can guess. We can give you best practices, but we don't know for sure. If they would have approached it that way.
You mean like what actual science is?
What actual science is.
Theory.
Yeah, theory. Trying to understand. Yeah. It would have been received much, much more positively by the American people. Instead of trying to say that they knew. You can't do both things. You can't say, trust the science, we're God, we know everything, and at the same time get the benefit of the doubt, which, Fauci now wants, which is like, well, we didn't know at the time. Well, if you didn't know at the time, you needed to say that. You said it to your friends in email. You said it in all the Slack messages that have been released among your friends. You said it over and over again privately, but you didn't say it to the American people. You lied to the American people over and over and over again. And then behind the scenes, Dave, told people to delete emails so that this would never be known.
Right.
And that is, I believe, a crime, especially when you're a government official. You can't hide you can't cover your tracks like that. That's not allowed.
It's also a crime to me that if you actually run the laboratory that is leaking out the virus and you pretend that you don't know where it came from, even though it's actually killing people, and you're doing more to cover that up than you are to actually cure or fix or repair the problem, how's that not a crime? You're responsible for it. It's then a collusion.
It's hard to deny that is, I mean,
it's hard to deny when he's deleting emails.
When he's deleting emails, that I think is quite clearly a crime.
It's like the Benghazi thing.
It's tough because you don't have like fingerprints on a gun, right? It's difficult to prove the lineage of a virus, right? It's just hard to do, and that's what he's leaning on here.
Yeah. You also don't have most murderers on the cover of InStyle magazine, so it's tough to tell what evidence is what in this particular
It's
case.
True. Can we, because we have got a bunch of clips.
Sorry, I know we have a bunch.
No, I know. We got a bunch of clips to get to. Can I do this, though, before we take a break? Behind Rand Paul, there is a lady, and this is what has gone viral from these hearings.
Yeah.
Now, this is if this is not America, I don't know what is. Rand Paul in the middle of a very serious thing, talking about, millions of people died in this incident. We're talking about how it happened, who's responsible for it. It's very, very serious. You've got this figure, cover of InStyle magazine guy up there taking the fifth over and over again. And what goes viral? This picture, this video, because, hey, the lady behind Rand Paul is hot. That's what. Now, in this picture, she looks more like a doll.
She does. I admit she's pretty, but the problem with our society is our dead porn brains being so attracted to. We're just such simps, and this is why there's conservative women deserving the news with their camel toe out on a swing. I'm serious. Go online. There's actually people that are talking about the news while they're just spread eagle on a swing. I'm serious. This is what it's become.
Story?
No, I swear to God, it's real.
Has this been going around? How do you know about it? Just because
Sam Tripoli's Twitter was where I first saw it, and then I started looking, and I'm like, yeah, it's just like girl with like just bare feet wearing the tightest pants ever, so you can see her camel toe, and she's just like today with Fauci, and it's like that's what we've become an act. Like, remember that old Bill Hicks joke when he's talking about how one day you're just gonna have a woman spread eagle, and then she just like opens her legs and sips something, and is like drink Coke. We've actually become that in our society. We're just such simp drooling that this is what we can't take 3 minutes to take something seriously without being like, well, I gotta put my in that. And that's why you can't have a pretty woman sitting up there, because you can't even focus on a trial. I will say, or not a trial.
This is not her fault. She's sitting up there.
Beautiful. She did nothing. I'm not saying she did anything wrong, but I'm saying this is the problem. This is where we go. Which I admit, she's far more interesting than I plead the fifth over and over again. But of course, that's what goes viral.
That's just amazing
because it's sex distracting us from having any real conversation, and that's where our brains are now as a society.
Great microcosm of where we are.
It is
right now. The fact that all this really important stuff's going on, we're like, look at her. She's hot. It's pretty pathetic, but I mean,
it's why every airport, every woman has a pair of pants on where it's just her ass. It's just your ass in a different color. And then you're walking around. I don't want people to look at me. Well, guess what?
We are human beings.
I'm just saying, we're human beings, and we've destroyed ourselves with social media and sex and porn, and this is what it leads. Sorry, I'm annoyed today.
I can tell.
All day, I hate this guy so much and all his Fifth Amendment stuff, and then I'm just tired of society.
Irritable Dave is fun.
Okay, well, I really don't like society. I think we're pathetic, and I think we're slowly slipping into what's just going to be our end.
Mm-hmm. Except for the audience, they're the
best.
They're saving the country.
They're the best people ever, who are probably furious about what we just said about Trump.
No, it's all right. I mean, what I like about the audience here, I think I found this at BlazeTV, and I think definitely here on this show, is like, if you disagree with somebody, you just listen to them, and if you don't like it, you move on with your life.
No, they tend to actually stop listening to you and get pissed off for like a month.
Oh,
they're like, "You just simp." What are you gonna ask? Like, no, I think we should call people out for what they do. If you want to be the president of the United States, you should be able to say what he did wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And this was handled immensely poorly, but I blame Fauci far more than I blame him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think there's a real argument that Trump was,
I think he was ignorant to it.
It wasn't his game, right?
No.
Like, he did not become president and be like, I can't wait to manage a pandemic. You know what I mean? And that stuff hits you. That's what the presidency is. You get hit with stuff that you don't expect. You get hit with stuff that you didn't know you had to deal with. George W. Bush was, his last year before.
He got hit with 2 planes.
He got hit with 2 planes right after he started.
Yeah.
In his last year, he got hit with a massive financial crisis, none of his doing.
Well, his friends helped. But.
Well, I mean, I tend to think that the economy does what it does mostly.
It does, yeah. And it doesn't help when you inflate values of homes.
Well, and I do have some blame for that.
You make $10,000 a year, and we'll give you a $400,000 house. That's weird. That didn't work out.
Look at us. This is talking issues. Talking issues with Stu and Dave. This is where you go to get all the best information. This is where you go to get the deepest analysis about the 2008 financial crisis.
Yeah, in case you're wondering, 20 years ago.
I was like, oh, wow. I will just say that I think...
I'm glad it happened. I got a good house out of it. Yeah. But I feel bad for all those other people.
Yeah.
But I was in my 20s. I didn't know why the houses got cheaper.
They did get cheap.
And then I watched The Big Short, and I learned me something.
I learned a little something from Michael Lewis there. That's interesting. Well, let's take a break, and let's get to some making fun more directly of Anthony Fauci, because that's what we're here to do.
I hate him.
We're here back in just a second. People spend a fortune making the inside of their house look great. I understand that. You're in there all the time. But then you walk outside and the yard kind of looks like the last owner still owns it. And you don't need to do that. You can do this pretty easily if you take a couple steps, because sometimes all it takes is just planting the right tree in the right place and you're fine. Fast growing trees makes it easy to find trees and plants that are suited to where you live, and then they ship them straight to your door, healthy and ready to plant. Whether you want a little more privacy, some much needed shade, Texas, very, very crucial, or you just want a yard that finally looks finished. They know what's going to thrive in your climate. Right now, they've got these great deals going on planting essentials up to half off select plants, and listeners to this show get 20% off their first purchase when using the code Stu and Dave at checkout. Additional 20% off better plants, better growing at fastgrowingtrees.com. We love fastgrowingtrees.com. Use the code Stu and Dave at checkout. Fastgrowingtrees.com. The code is Stu and Dave. Now is the perfect time to plant. Let's grow together. It's code Stu and Dave at fastgrowingtrees.com to save today. Offers valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply.
Given Senator Paul's obvious obsession with calling for my prosecution, his repeated slanderous comments about me, and recently his publicly releasing my unredacted personal diary aimed at embarrassing and intimidating me, the only conclusion I can reach is that the sole reason he is calling me before this committee is to get me to say something, anything, that could vindicate his repeated public pledges that I end up, in his words, quote, behind bars, unquote. Any reasonable person who has followed his unhinged obsession with me would readily come to the same conclusion.
I mean, he's obviously correct on that at some point. Rand Paul really does care about this issue. He should, by the way. That's not an obsession that's unhealthy. Being obsessed with fitness is not unhealthy. Being obsessed with eating right is not healthy. Is not unhealthy. Being obsessed with making sure we hold people accountable for horrible things that occurred to the people of this country is not an unhealthy obsession.
Right. And the fact that Dr. Fauci looks like Weasel from the sci-fi movie Arena, I think is unhealthy.
I mean, when you make a reference like that, we need a screenshot or something.
Somebody should Google it then and see, you tell me how right I am if I can pull it up.
Let's do that. We'll do that.
Weasel from, I also look up Quark from Star Trek.
Quark from Star Trek, Weasel from Arena.
Yeah, you tell me. I think that's exactly who Fauci is.
Okay.
I've made my point.
Yeah, that's right.
Counterpoint.
Counterpoint. He looks more like someone from another obscure movie.
Dave, you ignorant slut.
Here is this was the entire hearing, though. You got that little opening statement. This is what he did over and over and over and over again.
Therefore,
although
it pains me to do so,
no, it doesn't,
because of the respect I have for the legislative branch of government.
You don't care at all.
And my decades-long record of cooperating
Rand Paul's
with Congress,
the model of restraint compared
under
to
the
what should be done
advice
to
of
this
my
guy.
attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you're welcome.
Great.
First of all,
refrain from answering questions.
Unbelievable. First of all, you have no respect for the legislative branch of government. The whole point, your entire career is a long series of decisions made as essentially a technocrat without responsibility to the legislative branch, right? Like all these there wasn't a shutdown bill. That was you just going and harassing state after state after state to do it.
There wasn't a vote.
There wasn't a vote. There wasn't a bill.
Was there a hearing for any of the people that lost their jobs who didn't believe what you were saying? Was there any, there was no protocol for them to go, well, maybe we should give them the benefit of the doubt. Instead, people lost their actual ability to practice medicine.
Yeah, it's absolutely unbelievable. Here is Rand Paul responding to the fact that he's taking the Fifth.
President Biden issued you a sweeping pardon extending back to 2014, the same pardon he gave to his son Hunter. A pardon may protect a person from criminal prosecution, doesn't rewrite history. It does not erase documents. It does not convert a misleading statement into a truthful one. And it does not prevent Congress from establishing what happened. There will be another pandemic. There will be another crisis. And there will again be officials who insist that uncertainty must be hidden for the public's own good. They will demand obedience. They will invoke science. I am the science, as though it were a commandment. They will argue that government officials cannot be questioned because questioning them would undermine public trust. They have it backwards. It is secrecy that destroys trust. It is arrogance that destroys trust. It is censorship that destroys trust. And it is the refusal to admit error that destroys trust. That loss of trust may be your most damaging legacy. Trust can't be ordered. It has to be earned. No scientist is above scrutiny. No government official is beyond accountability. And no public servant has the right to treat the suffering of millions of Americans as a footnote to his preferred version of history.
Yeah, but you see that hot chick behind him?
Yeah, look, I'll be honest. Maybe it gives me hope that some normies will pay attention to this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. I like that.
I'll try to be positive.
There you go. See, I like that.
I'll tell you what will destroy trust, though. That hot blonde chick, while all their wives are like, who is she? Which one are you? Whose mistress is that?
It is with all the scandal that you get in D.C., you can't make a rule says that we don't hire attractive people. That's not a thing that can happen.
No, but you might want to.
You might think about it.
Yeah.
You might think about it.
I mean, it's not the gay guy who got drilled in there, but it's still...
Oh, God. Thank you for reminding.
I just want to remind everybody how great the last 6 years have been.
It's been a good time. It's been a really good time.
Don't forget about that.
Here is they started having fun with us after a while, Dave.
Yes.
They just started asking questions that were ridiculous just to hear him plead the Fifth again. Here's an example of that.
In the red folder on your table is a copy of Section 192 of Title II of the U.S. Code. Your counsel has been provided a copy as well. That section makes it a crime for a witness appearing under subpoena to refuse to answer any questions pertinent to the question under inquiry. Do you have that in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Let the record record that the witness has refused to answer whether there's a folder in front of him based on his Fifth Amendment right.
And he did this over and over and over again. I mean,
The whole thing was, even in mob hearings, they'll answer some stuff.
yeah.
He's so guilty, he's not going to answer anything.
It's weird. I sometimes I hear from, I don't understand this stuff as well. I've never, been in front of I've never had to plead the Fifth in my life, thankfully. But like, I know that they sometimes say if you start answering questions, you can't plead the Fifth on the other questions. I don't know how true that is. I've heard that before from, people talking about these types of hearings.
Yeah, I don't know. I was looking that up too
Yeah.
today, like exactly what the Fifth Amendment is, exactly how it can be. And yeah, it's kind of unclear.
Can I give you a sideshow on this, which is fun and not unfortunately related to a hot blonde, but it's a fun little sideshow. My other world here at predictableshow.com, they have these things called mention markets. And basically, like, what you do is you're trying to predict what the person's going to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? What words are they going to say? And there was a big mention market leading into this. It was, pretty heavily, people were talking about it. And, it was stuff like, how many times will he say Trump? How many times will he refer to, gain of function research, all these things. And they're all at like 40, 50, 60, 70%.
Right.
Thinking of, well, this is going to be the topic of this. He comes out and says, I'm going to do the Fifth Amendment thing. They all drop to zero. So all the money that was in there of people thinking he was going to say stuff, he didn't say anything.
I had a feel, but I didn't think he would say much.
Yeah, you could have made a lot of money, Dave. Where were you?
I should have just said that. I know. We even said this after the show yesterday, and I should have just said, "Hey," because I knew he was going to do that.
You see, we should have told me that. I could have made a lot of money on it.
What's this? That's all they always do.
They do that all the time.
Otherwise, it's self-incriminating, and he's going to have to go like, "Well, yeah, it was my lab.
I love.
Yes, I killed millions of people."
I love at that point, he was like, I think the only thing that Rand Paul wants me to do is say something that's going to put me in prison. Well, yeah, that's exactly what he wants. Right? Like 100% what he wants to do is to get you on record answering difficult questions that that InStyle doesn't ask. Right? Like Teen People doesn't ask you questions about gain of function research. And the only times we've heard anything valuable from Fauci in any of these moments was when Rand Paul was berating him.
Or the children's book, Doctor from Brooklyn, that they were putting on the bookshelves in every single place.
So good.
They don't typically ask these. But why would you be so worried about prison?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't. Now,
I understand.
pardon only has to do with federal charges. I don't know. I'm sure someone who's trying to impress Trump could probably figure out a way to do something to the guy. I don't know. But, he probably just doesn't want to say anything because anything he says, anytime he comes near the truth, he's in trouble. He's in trouble.
Of course.
Because
it's his awareness of what it was and how he mishandled it.
And part of the reason, too, Dave, the trouble you get yourself into when you go on 947,000 shows is even if you're mostly right about something, you're probably going to screw it up eventually. I mean, we've said things that are wrong already. We've been in a show for like a couple months.
Oh, I've said stuff today. The difference is I'm willing to admit that.
You're willing to admit it, and you're not controlling the entire nation's ability to come and go from their home right now.
Oh, yeah, I certainly would never tell anybody how to live healthy.
Right. That's not what we do here. Do the opposite. Let's take one more break. I'm going to come back on the other side. We have two other things that I think are worth hitting. We'll come back on the other side with Anthony Fauci's lawyer being thrown out of the courtroom. I'll show you that in a minute.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to hear what the attorney has to say.
He is not recognized by the committee or the chair. If he speaks again, he will be removed from the room. This testimony is from Anthony Fauci. This is not a game with his lawyers. He can advise. His lawyers can give him advice. He's got a half dozen here. They're all allowed to talk to him.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah.
But the attorneys are not recognized. In fact, the attorney was told not to sit at the table, and he's not obeying that recommendation. There's a row behind you, sir. That's where you were told to sit, and you're not. And now you're disrupting the proceedings. And so, look, this is the way Anthony Fauci wants to be remembered, for a lawyer not listening to the rules. That's the way you want to be remembered, and that's what you're going to do. You are not recognized, sir. Security, please remove him from the room.
There we go. Yeah. Get out.
I love this. They said I'm a distraction. I gotta go as well.
This is so
The lawyer's wife.
I know. It's so it is it's an amazing thing to watch. And then you have the blonde behind, which is it's so unfair to whoever she is.
She's just there for a good reason, and now she's a sex symbol.
I know. How does this happen? This happens at sporting events all the time. But there'll just be a random girl in the crowd cheering, and then she just goes viral, and then winds up like starting an OnlyFans 3 weeks later.
Right. Well, this
is America for you.
Well, so this guy just got gagged in court. Had he been a beagle, I mean, Fauci would have had his throat slit and then put his face into a jar full of sandflies. So, I'm just saying, this guy's going to be able to talk again.
Yeah, that's true.
know?
I think he'll be okay. Now, of course, it's all part of the show, right? You go up there, he knows he's not allowed to talk in that hearing. Is there value? I would love to have Rand Paul, going after his attorney as well. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But you're not allowed to just break the rules to do it.
Well, I'm fine if Fauci spends the rest of his whatever is left of his life getting just reamed by Rand Paul. Mm-hmm. Fine with me.
Here is
not sexually.
I know. I felt almost like you had to say that because I feel like people from your mouth have heard.
I didn't say rimmed.
Sexual.
Yeah.
Okay, here I want to bring this at this one point that I think is important from Josh Hawley. He went through a series of questions where he was like, is the sky blue? And then he was do the Fifth Amendment thing, and be like, oh, what about are there clouds in the sky? All these things, and then he came to this because this is probably the most important part of this. Josh Hawley is a lawyer. He knows this stuff pretty well, and this is a point that I've heard over and over again, and I think we might wind up seeing go through the courts when it comes to Fauci. Here is Hawley explaining why Fauci can't claim the Fifth Amendment here. Watch.
Constitution.
Let's just get one thing straight. You don't have any rights under the Fifth Amendment because you've been pardoned, as you very well know. As the Supreme Court has been clear for a century and more, Brown versus Walker, 1896, when he has been pardoned, he may not stand upon his privilege. You know that. Your lawyer is sitting behind you now shifting nervously in their chairs. They know it. This isn't about the Constitution. This isn't about the law. This is about contempt. Contempt for this body and contempt for the American people. Mm-hmm. But I think I know why you're doing it. It's because you don't want to answer questions. It's because you did all kinds of terrible things. It's because during the pandemic you got rich, didn't you? You got rich. While people were dying, hundreds of thousands of Americans, over 1 million in the end, and you were getting rich, and not only were you doing that, you were using federal employees with taxpayer money to apply for and solicit cash prizes for you personally. Cash prizes totaling over $1 million. You did all of that during the pandemic, didn't you? That's a question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
I don't know. You don't know how the courts are going to rule on something like that, but if you're pardoned, you no longer have the need to protect yourself.
So yeah,
therefore you should not have the right for the Fifth Amendment. I mean, that does seem to be a pretty clear path.
Yes, that's why I was saying I looked it up, because after I heard him go off this morning, I went and I looked it up, and it seems that that's accurate. Mm-hmm. And still, he's using the Fifth Amendment, and I think he should have to answer these questions.
I mean, look, if he answers them, he's going to lie anyway. But he knows that. He's going to lie. He's not going to tell the truth. And if he does that, then he opens himself up for even more.
Yeah.
Now, the pardon situation is interesting. You don't know what could happen. He could get sued for something. He could get, a state.
Oh, he should be sued.
But he is protected under a rule that I don't like, the pardon rule. But that doesn't mean that there is not more that can happen here. And at the very least, frankly, I don't know if you know this, but Dave's not really a Fauci fan. I don't know if you detected that at all over the past couple of days.
Just hate him.
Look, he should be held responsible for what he did. In some ways, it's almost more important, though, that we actually find out what really happened. Because what Rand Paul said is true. We are going to have another pandemic at some point. That's going to happen. And we need to go through this. And as much as it pains all of us to think about this period again, we have to litigate this stuff because we can't stop people from going to church again. That just needs to be completely known that that's not allowed. And those rules need to be codified legislatively or in the Constitution. I mean, I would argue it's already there.
Well, the reality is we've been living in this and the aftermath of it. It's still the same time period. It hasn't felt like much has changed since 2020.
Yeah.
It completely changed the way that America was and that the globe was. And if we don't have answers, to your point, it's going to continue to be, we can end up going down the same path that we did before with arbitrary rules, locking people up, giving politicians way too much power. And that's all that happened as a result of this guy. So if there's not some honesty or something that we find out, we're in a lot of trouble.
It's so true. All right, we're going to take a break, come back on the other side with a little bit more before the end of the show. Make sure to follow us on BlazeTV. If you're on BlazeTV, we love having you here. But if you're not a member of BlazeTV, it's a great time to join. You know, all the stuff that you're seeing here with Fauci, that stuff was all covered on BlazeTV at the time. This is all being talked about at the time, and we would love for you to be part of this community as we continue to cover this stuff, honestly, like probably a lot of places aren't. BlazeTV.com/Stu and Dave. The code is Stu and Dave. Back in a second. One of the easiest ways to tell whether someone is actually an expert is to ask them a question that doesn't have an obvious answer.
Like I plead the fifth.
Right. That's usually, if that's what they say, probably not the expert that you want.
No.
Real estate is kind of like that. Anyone can say, we're going to put up a sign, right? You can, I got an open house coming up. And that's wonderful. But pricing a house correctly, negotiating a difficult deal, spotting problems before they happen, it all takes experience. And that's why I like realestateagentsitrust.com. They don't just connect you with just any agent. They get the best ones. They make sure they have the best results. They work really hard to match you with the experienced professional that you need. And people who have earned their reputations by helping people buy and sell homes successfully over and over and over again. Whether you're moving across town or across the country, buying your first home, or just finally ready to sell the one that you're in, it's nice to know that you've got someone in your corner who knows what they are doing. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, start with realestateagentsitrust.com. Realestateagentsitrust.com. They can help you find an agent you could feel good about, confident about, and make sure this transaction goes the best way possible. It's realestateagentsitrust.com, a free service to you. realestateagentsitrust.com. Well, if you want to hear more bashing of Anthony Fauci, you can do that all over the country with Dave Landau. Go to davelandau.com. Albuquerque, New Mexico, Glendale, Arizona, Cleveland, Traverse City, Michigan, Honolulu, Hawaii. And that's a work trip, by the way.
That's Magnum PI territory.
That is.
I got to figure out how to be a PI.
Are you going to do are you the type of person that'll go to a new area and be like, I'm going to take the Magnum PI tour?
You bet I would.
Yeah.
You're darn tootin'.
I mean, I did.
I'm not going to go on a duck boat, but
No.
I'll take the Magnum PI tour.
I would take that one too. I like that. We did the Elf tour in with the kids in New York City.
Get that with your kids.
It's freaking awesome. I would totally have gone on it myself though. I don't care about the kids. It was just, I booked this. We didn't ever even seen that movie. No, they love that movie.
Yeah, of course.
DaveLandau.com for tickets. PredictableShow.com. Lots of great stuff coming up there. We talked to a guy yesterday who's made almost $2 million on prediction markets. He gave great insight about how to make money off of these markets and what to do, what not to do. Talking about some of his mistakes. The craziest one he had was at one point he had $1.4 million as onto whether Zelensky would wear a suit.
Ooh.
Imagine just watching him walk out for every press conference. What if he came one time with a suit?
Terrifying.
Oh my God.
Someone made money off Fetterman today, I'll tell you that.
Oh,
he
yeah.
had a suit on.
He had a
Someone
suit
made
on.
some cash.
Yeah, there we go. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.